This video is once again me, King Bay, talking about private rights versus Moor's rights, and then we're gonna add in the right to travel. So I'm gonna make a short video on this to give y'all the comprehension of what you need to understand when we start talking about private versus public. We're talking Moors, and we're talking about nationality. Just going through the fundamental principles and looking at the definition and looking at how everything works in jail. So you got to understand this premise, private and public. I understand the treaties. You can add the treaties, but the treaties is on this side too. And you have to understand the game that's being played, even if you're going to argue treaties, and certain things must be in place. Okay? It's a lot of things that people have to read, you have to study, you have to get into those treaty laws and all of that, and you have to start looking at those um, case law on treaties. So let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is nationality. Now, it says the relationship between a citizen of a nation and the nation itself, customarily involving allegiance by the citizen and protection by the state. And then it says membership in a nation. So let's look up nationality. I want to show y'all something. And I'm not, for those who pause the channel, you can read this. Pause the video and you can read over some of this. But I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. The act of bringing naturalization. This is the act of bringing an industry under government control or ownership. So, when somebody becomes naturalized, you become under the control of an industry. They're talking about a corporation. Once again, a corporation who has ownership and control over your straw man. So over your commercial identity. Let's stop calling it straw man. Let's call it what it is. It's a commercial identity used for the benefit of that government. And you have to understand it. I just want to show you this. I want to break this down because you got to understand private rights versus Moor's rights. And I'm gonna have to probably do a part 3, and that's what I'm gonna utilize probably the treaties and go through all of that. Um, I'm not gonna do a very long because that could get very extensive because it could be a lot of research. There's a lot of research. I've been through all of that already. It's just a lot of research, and I haven't been doing that for a while. I used to spend a lot of time in the law library trying to figure out these treaty rights and reading case laws. This stuff can hurt your head. So just breaking it, I just learned that we're gonna keep it kind of simple and start trying to realize what's really going on. So, but I want you to look at naturalization, so you can understand this is, and it says the act of giving a person the status of a citizenship. But look at the first definition of it. This is the second definition. So you got to make sure that you understand to give a person. This person can also mean what? Person can always also mean what? Corporation. So you got to understand what's really going on when we using these definitions. So I want to talk about also. It doesn't say we got to understand how we get your Moorish identity, and I talked about through private franchises and setting up contracts. So remember, contracts is the way to get your remedy under common law in order to enforce the rights of a contract, especially when it's private and it's not for the benefit. And I showed you in that last case in the first video on Moore's rights versus um, um, private rights versus Moore's rights. Part one. This is going to be part two, plus the right to travel. So just want to show you that. Now let's go into something. Um, Even with the right to travel, and I'm gonna show you something under this state code. Now this I missed it. It was right in my face last time. Now persona means an individual name, voice, signature, photograph, image, likeness, or distinct appearance if any of these aspects have commercial value. So you get commercial value by contract. Remember, common law is contract. And then it says also for the purpose of promoting travel to a place. They tell you how to get your remedy. So if you understand how to create private trusts and private entities and private organizations that know how to create contracts, and long as it's not interfering with the state and it's not creating, it's not receiving any benefits from the state, or it's not causing the state to be able to do business due to the fact that you're having it has a direct correlation to the government and is affecting the government in some kind of way, you ain't gonna have to worry about it. Because now they got to have personam jurisdiction. And I told you before, nations deal in treaties. So you got to remember there's private treaties and there's public treaties. You got to remember all this stuff is at the end of the day is contracts. Let's move on. Now, I want to talk about privilege from arrest under this statute. It says a person who on their travel day of worship or within going to or returning from the place of worship or worshiping at a service or going to or returning from a service. Whoever's arrested, whoever's whoever arrests a person in violation of this section got to pay $100 to be covered by civil action in the name and for the use of such person injury. Now, I told you before, let's go here. We'll go here. Complaint. I just put it in there. I know how I've been doing this for so long. So, how would you make your complaint? A private citizen having knowledge of a fact who seeks to cause an arrest or prosecution may file an action charging the offense committed. So this this ain't this has to be done in a civil action, but I'm showing you once again a private citizen having the knowledge of a fact. I'm just showing you the rights of the private versus the rights of the Moorish. And we got to look at all the treaties. We got to look at the Treaty of Peace and Friendship to look at all the rights of the Moors. And I'll get into that on probably another video. And I'm not going to spend all day on that video because that could be a very long video due to the fact of the treaties. And you have to also look at the time, you have to look at congressional records to see the mindset of the people who were making the laws of that day to make a comparison to what you want to argue. A lot of times things have been changed, and you got to remember how these courts work. So a lot of stuff is not the same as it is before, but I get into that at another topic. But I'm just want to show you how you can get your right to travel, understanding the right of publicity, and how to contract. So this is King L. Bay dropping more knowledge on y'all. I just wanted to make a short video to show you guys how to get your right to travel, how to get all of this done. You have a traditional day of worship. So that's why we got to understand what we need to do. And Moors need to come together, create an economy, and create places of worship so we can travel from place to place and we can have some institutions that's trying to protect and safeguard our rights. This is King L. Bay. I'm out. This is a short video on part 2 of the rights, the private rights versus Moors rights, and the right to travel. I'll get a little bit more on the right to travel, probably do a video by itself, and we're just gonna take it from there. I thank everyone for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Please also let me pull this up before I get out of here. Let's go get the book, How to Stop Child Support. I got a lot of wonderful tips in this book. This book got powerful knowledge. So please check us out. I'm gonna go here. Y'all need to come to M.U.S.T and give us a call. Come to M.U.S.T. Let me get y'all here, man. Let me get y'all here. Why the M.U.S.T station don't want to pull up? Let me go here. And I be dropping so much information on this site, but check this. Come down here, go to M.U.S.T, give us a call at 513-549-7270. 513-549-7270. All right, this is King L. Bay. Boots on the ground to everyone. We stay in this fight. Let's keep it pushing. Peace.